Well, good morning everybody. Welcome back to Shutters and Speed. You join me here on a midweek ride. I've actually been a bit desperate to get out on the bike as I've been a little busy with other things of late. So I'm just taking a sneaky Wednesday morning ride out, and I'm going to go to Walker's Snacks and see who's about, and then maybe go from there. And on the way, we'll have a little bit of a chat about this, that and the other. So before we go any further, we better, as we say here in Norfolk, run them their titles, boy, and get into it. Yeah, so welcome back to Shutters and Speed. Yeah, you join me on the A10. I'm making my way down to Walker's at the Five Ways roundabout. Haven't been there for some time, as most of my viewers will remember. I usually make for Sunny Honey for a ride out, but I thought today I'd take a different route, go to Walker's. Very often there's a few motorcyclists there. Whether there will be today, I'm not 100% certain, because the weather is a little bit iffy, it has to be said. I believe that there's going to be rain a little later today, and obviously I'm trying to avoid that, so I'm going to go there, hopefully have a bit of breakfast, and see if there's anybody interesting to chat to. And maybe, of course, they might even come on camera and have a chat with us as well. So that's what we're hoping for today. And then once we're finished there, if the weather is okay, we might go a little further, or we might take another route back, just simply make it a circuit route, as it were. But I've got my sat nav set to go there, and it's set to avoid Brandon, which at this time of day, especially right now when the children are going back to school, this is on the Wednesday, I think it's the 3rd of September, no, the 4th of September. So this is the first day back for all the kids, so they're all making their way to school. So I'm avoiding Brandon because obviously that is a traffic bottleneck at the best of times, but especially at school times. So we're avoiding that. So I'm taking this route today down the A10. I suspect we'll go off towards Mildenhall and end up at the Five Ways roundabout that way. It's about a 26-mile journey, which is not that far, obviously, from my home at Downham Market. Yeah, so I've been a little busy with one thing or another. I did go to Cadwell Park recently to have a look at the British Superbikes, and if you haven't seen that video, then obviously, as ever, a link will appear in the top right-hand corner of the screen here. So if you wish to go and have a look at that, then obviously you're welcome to do so. But that's about it of late, because August is usually a pretty busy month for me with my job, doing this, that and the other. And I don't always obviously get the opportunity to go out on the bike. I've been waiting for a good day to do another Simon Weir trip. He's got a really good looking route around Rutland Water and that area, and I'm hoping maybe I can do that later this week, depending on the weather. Friday looks quite promising, so it may be that we get that done this week, but we'll see. But I'm so desperate to get out on the motorbike and have a ride round that I thought today I'd just simply go to Walker's, have a bite to eat and see where we go from there. I don't often come down this way, down the A10, because this section, oh dear, we have what is known as a little bit of an accident, it seems. Are we being diverted off? Maybe not, no. I know traffic is coming the other way, so we should be okay. This would be an ideal time to turn off if we need to, but I'm hopeful that we can stay on the original route. There might be a little bit of a fender bender up here. I'm going to stay behind the traffic. I don't think I'll bother filtering, as it were, because I'm not that far away from the incident, and the road is quite narrow here, and with heavy goods vehicles coming down the road, I'm not sure it's a good idea. And also it seems a tractor is trying to turn right, which is holding us all up. A policeman is up there winding us all through, or waving us all through, sorry. And I wonder what's happened here. What we have here is a little fender bender. Oh my word, he's had a bit of a smackaroony. Yes, not quite sure who's hit him, but somebody has. Never mind. Hopefully he'll be okay. Doesn't appear to be any injuries, so that's good. Well, this section of A10 does appear to be a bit smoother. Yeah, I tend to avoid the A10 now, like the plague almost, because it's one of these concrete section roads with tarmac over the top, and because it's in the fens, those concrete sections tend to move a bit and create huge bumps on the joints, which is very uncomfortable on a motorcycle. Obviously if I have to come this way, then I'll put up with it, but they can be quite troublesome, especially if you want to adopt the sort of advanced riding techniques where you're moving from position to position, because sometimes the position you ideally ought to be in is on the bumpiest section of the road, so that makes it a little awkward. I've got my scenic sat-nav running, and I'm going by that, and I am taking note of the instructions that it gives me. When I typed Walker's Snacks into it earlier this morning, it straight away took me this way. It didn't attempt to take me through Brandon, which it has to be said is my normal route, and I'm guessing it's done that because A, it's quicker, and B, it is avoiding the bottleneck that is Brandon. It's quite a cool, cloudy sort of morning here in the fens. All the harvest is in, it seems, and preparations are now taking place, I see, to prepare the land for next year's crops. And of course the next big season coming up is the sugar beet season, where there'll be lorries here, there and everywhere taking sugar beet from as far away as Boston into the factory at Wissington, which is off to my left. So that's another thing to look forward to, and that actually is usually the signal to the end of the motorcycling year for me. I normally keep the old Yamaha with me, and hopefully we'll get some more riding in up until hopefully the end of October, which is obviously something I'm hoping to do. I've got a little bit of free time now. I have some at the end of September, and October looks okay as well. So if the weather stays okay, then hopefully we'll be able to have a few rides out, maybe. But beginning of November, when the roads start to get a bit grubby, the sugar beet lorries especially are in full swing. That's usually the time for the old Yamaha to go into its winter headquarters, and that's it for the season. Sometimes it comes out. I haven't been known to go and get it out on a January morning when it's been really quite mild and dry, but generally speaking that's it until probably beginning of March. We're crossing over Brandon Creek here, which is a funny bridge which has 2 or 3 rivers coming into it, and lots of leisure craft there. I hope you maybe caught that on the camera, which is usually very obviously popular with boats, and there's a nice pub there where everybody tends to gather once they've been out for a day on the old waves, as it were. Of course, the other thing with me coming out today is I did wonder whether the old Yamaha would start. I had a look at, and I hadn't actually ridden it since the end of July, so I've gone through all of August without going anywhere on it. Seems crazy, which is probably one of the warmest months of the year. But that's how I work. My busy period is in the August. August is one of my busiest months of the year. So I don't have one of these Optimate type systems. I'm not altogether certain they're great for your battery. I know some people swear by them, but I'm not sure. So I tend to just, if it needs charging, just charge it and go from there. And I get quite good life out of my batteries. In fact, I had a Bandit 650 for the best part of 11-12 years, never replaced the battery, running it like I'm running this one, and this one seems okay as well. I have had to be rescued once. My good lady wife had to come and get me because it started at home, and I only had to go probably half a mile to fill up with fuel. And of course that was a bit of a mistake, because there wasn't enough mileage, if you like, to get charged back into the battery, and I foolishly thought it would start again, and of course it didn't. So she had to come and rescue with my little portable power bank thing that I use to start it in those situations. Fortunately it wasn't that far away, and she wasn't up to much, so it wasn't too bad. But I could have been in a little trouble there, so you know, I do have to keep an eye on the old battery level. But in this instance it did start reasonably well, but I am going a reasonable distance, about 26-27 miles, so I'm hoping obviously by then that there's enough charge been put into the battery from the old alternator, and that it will start okay once we stop. But you never know, so I suppose I'm taking a little bit of a risk here. Yeah, so we're making our way along a fairly straight and boring section of road, as it were. So we'll turn the cameras off in a moment, and then, unless I see something interesting on the way that I might want to chat with you about, the next time you speak to me will be at the Walkers Cafe, where hopefully we'll have some kind of sausage bap and a cup of coffee. But we'll see how we get on. So we'll see you later. Yeah, so we've just stopped and had a nice bap and a cup of coffee at Walker's Snacks. And there was nobody around, certainly not from a motorcycle point of view, which is a little disappointing. I thought there might be one or two out today, but maybe not. Despite avoiding the bottleneck that is Brandon, it is now nearly 10 o'clock, and I'm hoping that the traffic is going to have subsided slightly after the rush hour. And I'm actually going to go past Lakenheath Air Base here, and go through Brandon and make my way up to Suffolk, then maybe up to Hunstanton and see who's about up there. So just stay tuned and we'll go for a little ride. Yeah, so on our left here, I may have mentioned this in a previous video, but here we have the Lakenheath Air Base, which is home to the squadrons of fighter planes linked to the US Air Force. There's F-15 Strike Eagles and also F-35 planes as well. And this is a very popular spot for plane spotters. An awful lot of people congregate in the visiting area. And also up here on the right, you'll notice there'll probably be quite a few plane spotters up here on the right hand side in a sort of makeshift lay-by. And if there's any activity going on, we might stop, but we'll see. We won't stop if there's nothing obvious happening. But this is somewhere I come because I quite like photographing aeroplanes, and I come here not that often, but probably a couple of times a year or thereabouts to have a look at the latest. And sometimes you're lucky enough that the aeroplanes are taken off and landing in the right direction, which makes for good aerial sort of aircraft photography, which is obviously great. Yeah, this indeed, there we are at the 48th Fighter Wing. I just caught that before the lorry blocked our view, and this is the entrance into the airbase itself. Fellow motorcyclist out on the road, enjoying his time on the road. It's actually a very nice morning for motorcycling. I think it's cool, it's dry, no wind, and there's not much to like, really. Not to like. It's fantastic. Yeah, you can see it over there now. 48th Fighter Wing, the Liberty Wing, RAF Lakenheath, always ready to own the skies. And that's what greets you as you drive into their main gate. Right, let's go. Yeah, and just up here on the right hand side is where people usually park to see the planes coming in and out. There's, what, 2 or 3 vehicles there waiting? Not as many as there has been of late. They have a thing called Quick Climb Friday here, where the planes really go nuts on a Friday and take off vertically, straight in the air, which is quite exciting. So if you want to come and watch the planes here at Lakenheath, I would suggest, if you can choose a day to come, Friday would be your best bet. You can either park up there in that lay-by that we've just passed, or we have a proper designated viewing area off to the left here, where you can find a good car park, and there's also a burger van so you can get something to eat, which is always good news. Yeah, so we're going to make our way up towards Brandon now and see how we can. I shan't probably film that because it's not exactly interesting. So you'll join me later on the ride. So hopefully you're enjoying this little ride out with me, and you stay tuned for whatever comes next. Yeah, so here we are. We've made our way out of Brandon. Brandon wasn't actually that bad. The traffic was quite good. We got through quite quickly, and we've made our way through Munford, and we're heading towards Swaffham on the A1065, and we've stopped here at this memorial. This has been here for some time, but I just thought I'd stop because I'm going to take a picture of the bike in front of it because I think it's a good photo opportunity. But it's also a good thing to just stop and take a moment to appreciate how things panned out in the war, especially towards the end. And this is a memorial to the 7th Armoured Division of Desert Rats, as you can see on the memorial plaque here. And it says, the 7th Armoured Division was stationed in Thetford Forest between January and May 1944. While they prepared for the invasion of Normandy, this was the only time the division was in the United Kingdom in its entire existence. The division sailed from Felixstowe on the 5th of June 1944, with the first tanks landing on Gold Beach on the evening of 6th of June 1944. May your glory ever shine, may your laurels never fade, may the memory of this glorious pilgrimage of war you have made from Alamein via the Baltic to Berlin never die. It is a march unsurpassed through all story of the war. May the fathers long tell the children about this tale. It really is quite a moment to just stand here and ponder and take it all in. Yeah, I'm a great believer that we should always remember what these people did during the war for us to be able to live the lives that we do today with such freedom. I know freedom is earned, not necessarily granted, but providing you do the right thing and work hard, freedom will eventually come your way. And you probably wouldn't have been able to do that without the sacrifices these people made. Yeah, so I'm going to take a snap of my bike in front of this impressive looking memorial, and then we'll be on our way. Yeah, so we're now making our way out towards Swaffham on the 1065. I hope you enjoyed that little stop we made there. That's one of the one of the nice memorials there is positioned here in West Norfolk, and I thought I'd take a moment to stop and have a look, and because that's something I've never done before. Ridden by it, driven by it many times, and like I say, I've never really stopped to read and see what that was all about. And also obviously take the opportunity to take a snap on the old phone with my bike in the foreground, which I hope came out quite nicely, and if it did, you will have probably seen an example of that by now. So we're making our way, we're right in the sort of heart of Brecklands really here, and we're making our way towards Swaffham. And I think what I'm going to do, well, I think I mentioned earlier that I might be making my way up to Hunstanton. I think I'm going to turn off at Swaffham and head back towards Downham Market. I think I shall stop at RAF Marham and see if Squadron Leader Ted Coningsby is in the building, as it were. I am sort of pretty confident that he is, and he is somebody that I've followed quite a lot recently. So I would, if you're into aircraft and you want to know what's going on at a lot of the aerodromes, as it were, around this area, then I would highly recommend that you go onto his channel. That's Ted Coningsby. He is live almost every day at an aerodrome or aircraft spot every working day of the week. And although it can be a little, I suppose, a little boring maybe, but he does pick up some pretty good stuff, and he's quite a nice chap to listen to. So anyway, we're going to go and maybe stop at RAF Marham and see what he's got to say for himself, as it were, and see if we can have a chat with him. So, you know, that'll be quite interesting too. So he may be up for a chat with us. So let's get to Swaffham, turn off at Swaffham towards Downham Market, drop in at RAF Marham, and see if we can grab a word with Ted Coningsby. Yeah, so we're heading along the A1122 now, back towards the old homestead of Downham Market. And as I said earlier, we're going to just drop in on RAF Marham to see if Ted Coningsby is in residence and see what he's up to. And like I say, hopefully we might get a chat with him. He might be too busy, he might not be in a position to do so, but we'll see. Well, there's no harm in asking. We'll see how we get on. But we're just going to go and find him, and because I've got a good idea where he is, and he's probably filming live to the whole world from RAF Marham. So let's go and see him and see what he's got to say for himself. I have been following his channel now for some time, and as I said earlier, I do watch some of his live broadcasts, especially Quick Climb Friday at RAF Lakenheath. That's usually quite a good watch if you've got if you've got a coffee and a bit of time to spare, and you're into aircraft. It's well worth a watch. Well worth a watch. Anyway, we're turning off here very shortly, and hopefully we'll find him. Oh look, and there's F-35s preparing to come in as we speak. So let's go down here. I think this is where he'll be. There's one or two other aircraft spotters down here as well. So I don't know if my camera's picking that up, but it's an F-35 preparing to come into land. So he'll be quite busy at the moment filming that, I shouldn't wonder. But none the more for that. It's like you say, there's one or two people down here already watching what's going on. Yep, and there he is. He's got his van out. I hope you can see him on the camera there. Got his camera out, and he's broadcasting live to the world the arrival of all these aircraft. And as I said earlier, he's often at a lot of air bases in the area, and he's often recording what's going on and broadcasting live to the world. So there we have it. And he's obviously going to be very busy at the moment, but we'll see if he's up for a chat once the action dies down. So see you later. So here we are, as promised. We've managed to grab a word with the legend that is the squadron leader, Ted Coningsby, and his cameraman and commentator, Nikos.
How you doing?
Hey,
how you doing? You good?
That's fantastic. So thank you very much for coming on the channel.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Anytime.
And just a quick word about your channel and what you get up to. I mean, what was behind it in the first place?
Okay, so Ted and I have discovered that we need to promote a passion, a hobby that seems to have been thriving lately, and you know, a lot of these things have come out since COVID, really. And one of the hobbies, getting out and exploring and finding new things to keep our minds flowing and growing, is aviation. Military, though, that excites us, and it's something that I didn't even think about that was going to happen. I had no idea, because Ted came along and changed my life. And as yourself, wedding photography, that was a big destroyer when COVID came along, but Ted saved the day, because Ted came along, put him in the vehicle as a little mascot, and there we go, driving along to Coningsby, and we saw typhoons, and we started to go around and do some little fun videos with iPhones, and look at us now, promoting the Royal Air Force and United States Air Force. I mean, plane spotting has been around for years, let's face it, but the way our approach is a fun approach, because at the end of the day it is fun. We're trying to encourage a younger generation to come out and explore and enjoy the aircraft, because at the end of the day, aircraft inspire the young, air shows inspire the young generation, and hopefully join the cadets, because they're our future. So the idea behind it is to put a bit of fun into military aviation and inspire, and of course bring out the the fun side of Ted Coningsby as well.
Absolutely. Well, thank you very much,
That's
Nicholas,
all right.
for coming on the channel
Yeah,
and
no
having
worries.
a chat with us. I mean, it's just great that, I mean, I for example, if ever I've got a spare moment and I've got a coffee cup in my hand, turn the television on and find out where you are today.
Yeah,
so,
thank you.
know, and I'm sure there's thousands of people, all your subscribers are doing that all around the world, as it turns out, and seeing where you are. And I think you're doing a fantastic job.
Oh, thank you very much.
So thank you for coming on my channel and having
No
a chat.
problem at all. It's been an absolute pleasure, and have fun, everyone.
So, I think what we will do now, as ever, we will call a halt to proceedings here and now. So, until next time, as we say here in Norfolk, do you keep on a troshin', boy.
Do you keep on troshing, boy? I think I got that right.